I'm lost in darkness, searching for light. Every step forward feels like a fight. Shadows of doubt creep in my mind, but I refuse to surrender. I must find a way to rise above the pain, to overcome, to break the chains. My existence is a test of will. I won't be broken, I'll stand still. The weight of the world crushes me down. Fear and uncertainty all around. But I deep find inner strength and face the trials length by length. A way to rise above the pain, to overcome, to break the chains. My existence is a test of will. I won't be broken, I'll stand still. Through every storm, I'll find my way. Through every night, a brighter day. I'll rise from ashes, like a phoenix born. My spirit unbroken, my heart reborn. I've walked through fire and emerged scarred, but wiser, stronger, and unmarred. My existence is a test of will, of trials overcome, of a soul made bold. The weight of the world's above the pain, to overcome, to break the chains. My existence is a test of will. I won't be broken, I'll stand still. Day to day, nothing changes. All I want is a moment to think clearly, but thoughts come unrelenting, consuming every waking moment. My mind binds me and I can't escape. I shout for help, but no one hears me. One day I feel I'll just disappear. Lost in this chaos, I'm searching for peace.
Greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome to the Dirt Sheet Radio NXT post-show rewind for December the 3rd, 2024. I am Tyler, the Pro Wrestling Hipster, here as always with little Molly Holly, the long-haired Chihuahua, and going to be running solo here, folks, tonight. So, bear with me on that. But we have a heck of a show to talk about tonight. The go-home show for Deadline taking place this Saturday night. But before I can get into all of the excitement that happened tonight, I do have to give that ever-important shout-out to our partner on the web, comicbookclick.com. That is comicbookclick.com/dirtsheetradio for all your professional wrestling, pop culture, entertainment, comic book needs, all in one convenient location. Check it out. Make it your homepage and look at it multiple times a day, just like we do, not because we're legally obligated, but because we love to do it. Now, folks, I'll let Molly go about her way here. She's going to go nap until I awaken her for more malarkey here. But heck of a show. So I'm going to run things in a slightly different order. I am going to start with the main event, as we always do, and then I'm going to go into the angles that occurred after. But tonight's main event was the last chance qualifier match for the men's side of the Iron Survivor Challenge. And in that match tonight, we had Lexus King, Axiom, Cedric Alexander, and Eddie Thorpe. And Eddie Thorpe picking up the win here tonight. in just around 11 minutes. Fantastic, fantastic multi-man match here tonight. Eddie Thorpe in these past weeks has had a bit of a tumultuous relationship with GM Ava. Feeling ignored, feeling slighted, and last week going so far as to shove her and causing her to fall, and Shawn Michaels getting in Eddie Thorpe's face, nearly getting suspended, but they opted not to suspend him and allow him to compete tonight, and that works very well to the benefit of Eddie Thorpe, who won this match. Now, he did win the match, and the reason the question is being begged, but will he be able to compete? As NXT was going off the air tonight, Eddie Thorpe was found lying on the shower floor. It looked like they're back there in the locker room. Apparently, some unknown assailant taking him down. And obviously, we don't know the extent of any sort of storyline injury or anything that he would have here. And by the way, I don't know how long it's going to take me to get over the executive producer credits that pop up at the end of the shows now. I just expect to hear the Seinfeld slap bass over that. But yeah, so Eddie Thorpe winning the match, but his future uncertain in terms of whether or not he'll be able to compete this Saturday night at Deadline. But like I said, the match itself, great action. When just around that 11-minute mark, you could have made a good argument for everyone in this match to potentially have won. I think Eddie Thorpe was a good decision to go with, but part of me really want to see Axiom pick up the win here, just so we get that little preview of Nathan Fraser and Axiom in that match. But, they are going to be defending those tag titles Saturday night, and they're probably going to have that be the, I don't know, they're probably not going to retain the titles. Although I've been saying that for pretty much every one of their title defenses for the last few months. But hey, they got to implode eventually, right? But now, after the main event tonight, we did have a promo from Roxanne Perez ahead of the women's Iron Survivor match, and it was some solid work from Roxy here. I've said this before, I'll say it again. It took her some time to get rolling into this heel persona, but she's done a great job of it. And I really do think you're playing from behind the eight ball when you're as short as she is and portraying a heel. It's a little more difficult for someone of her stature to play a heel, but she's doing it very well here. And she kind of did her usual shtick here, though. Giving those backhanded compliments to all of the women in the Iron Survivor Challenge match this Saturday, and of course, mentioning them name by name, brought each of them out in order tonight. So first out comes Sol Ruka with bangs. Now apparently Sol's got bangs. Then Zarya, Stephanie Backer, Julia, and the women were in the ring. They began to brawl. Ren Sinclair comes out, yanks Roxy off the apron, lifts the title up above her head as the other women brawl in the ring. Now, I assumed this was going to close the show, but as said, the actual close was the Eddie Thorpe angle. But really, really looking forward to Deadline this weekend, especially this women's Iron Survivor match. Virtually anyone in this match could potentially win it. You can make an argument for every single woman in it. It's really kind of hard to say. I'll kind of make a little bit of a prediction on that later tonight. But yeah, so exciting end to the show. Big brawl, mystery left. So good cliffhanger leading into to Saturday night. But we're going to hop around to the beginning of the program. And we started tonight with the women's last chance qualifier for the Iron Survivor Challenge. We had Jada Parker, Ren Sinclair, Kalani Jordan, Cora Jade, all going at it to determine who would get that last shot there. Jada, Ren, Kalani, and Cora. When it was all said and done, and this was a surprise for me, I, on paper, had her as my last possible pick in this, but Ren Sinclair of the No Quarter Catch crew picking up the win here in just around the 12-minute mark. Banana peel finish for her. She did take a nasty hit from Parker and just fell over Cora Jade, and then the ref counted the 3 there. But nonetheless, Ren Sinclair qualifying. Charlie Dempsey had to kind of wake her up there to let her know that she'd actually won the match afterwards. But fantastic four-way match here tonight. A great opener, really set the tone for the go-home show this evening. And I would, like I said, I was surprised that Ren Sinclair won. Going into this, I really thought it was going to be Jada Parker getting that. Now, the way they kind of pulled Jada's attention away here, they did have Lola Vice come in and really kind of cause that loss for Parker there. Now, after Ren won the match and came to and everything, shortly thereafter, we had Jada Parker. Excuse me. We had Jada Parker emerge from the backstage area with a mic, and she was angry and calling out Lola Vice, and she said she wanted an NXT Underground match right then and there. She was demanding they take down the ring ropes. The wildest thing is, they actually started taking down the ring ropes. When they came back from the break, the ring was like half disassembled, and she's demanding this match. Ava comes out and says, hey, look, I understand why you want this match. I understand why you're angry. The match will happen, but not tonight. Cue some boos from the audience. It'll happen Saturday night. So Saturday, we are going to be getting an NXT Underground match with Lola Vice and Jada Parker. It's going to be a hell of a match, guys. I've loved the program that they've been working. My only complaint is that fake-ass brick. Like, if you're not actually going to hit somebody with it, carry around a real brick. That fake brick looks so fake. And even if you're going to hit somebody with it, get a more realistic-looking fake brick. Come on, you guys have you have a budget. You have a special effects team you can go to for something like this. But yeah, so that match on the docket for Saturday night. So absolutely looking forward to that. Also, backstage, we had Sarah Schreiber with a quick interview with Eddie Thorpe ahead of the main event tonight. And he was just basically recounting everything that happened last week and, thanking Sean and Ava for choosing not to suspend him and allow him to compete. He was approached by Lexis King during this, and they kind of jawed. It's interesting because, this shift of kind of more a heelish Eddie Thorpe continues. And again, the shift of Lexis King being more of a face continues here. I'm digging this redemption Lexis King character. I'm probably in the minority there, but I think it's working. I just wish they would quit having him do the obnoxious facial hair. If you're going to be a good guy, just quit doing the obnoxious facial hair. It looks heelish and bad and spray painted on. Yeah. Back in the backstage area, we had Dion Lennox, the new bloodline, taking Addy. That would be wild. That'd be a pretty big string of bad luck for Eddie Thorpe if that happened, though. But Dion Lennox was hanging out backstage with Brynlee Reese, and they were talking to Carmen Petrovic, kind of, trying to comfort her a bit about the whole Ashante and the Adonis issue from last week with him texting Nikita Lyons. And while they were talking to her, Carmen Petrovic got a delivery of flowers sent from Adrian the Adonis. He's got game, or Riz, as the youth would say nowadays. But Carmen was, again, she's kind of put off by him, but also intrigued and interested, and she seemed, kind of touched by the flowers. And Brynlee Reese was saying it was sweet, but Dion's just going on about how much of a player Ashante is. But so I wish Carmen would just, wake up and walk away from this whole Ashante thing. But, what are you going to do? In the locker room before our next match we had on the card, we had Nathan Fraser and Axiom backstage talking about Axiom's chance in the main event, as well as their title defense coming up Saturday night. Our next match we had Luca Crucifino. This was a tag team battle royal, so I'm going to spit off a bunch of teams here. So we had Stax and Crucifino, OTM, Gallus, Hank and Tank, the No Quarter Catch crew, Josh Briggs and Yoshiki Inumara, Tyson and Tyreek, OTM. And this was the number one contenders tag team battle royal. This was a lot of fun. Went just about 15 minutes. They changed up the format here. Typically in a tag team battle royal, it's one man's eliminated, the team's out. In this, both members of the team had to be eliminated in order for the team to be eliminated. When it was all said and done, the No Quarter Catch crew, thanks to Miles Bourne, ends up picking up the win here. which big night for the No Quarter Catch group, which been Rin Sinclair qualifying for the Iron Survivor, and with Bourne and Tavion Heights winning the #1 contendership for those tag team championships. Yeah, this match was a lot of fun, guys. A lot of action. Blink and you miss it. And when it came down to the final three, which was Tank, Bourne, and Price, it was great. The crowd was super into it. Big NXT chants, great action, and I'm going to say it: the right team won. I'm a big No Quarter Catch crew guy. I love everything about the team. I think that what could have been a major detriment in the loss of Drew Gulak ended up being a pretty big blessing for them, because I think that forced everyone else in that grouping to kind of step up and shine a lot harder. And they've all stepped into these roles very, very well. And I think the future is very bright for the No Quarter Catch crew. I look for the NQCC to pick up those tag team titles this Saturday night. Hey, maybe I'm alone in that. But hell of a match, guys. Hell of a match. But moving through the show from there, they showed backstage Trick Williams and Rich Holland separately, of course, walking towards the ring. And then we saw Sleazy E himself, Eric Bischoff, making his way towards the ring as we went to commercial. And I say this pretty much any time he appears on WWE television of any sort, but hell has frozen over once again. And Eric Bischoff walks into the Performance Center to a pretty good reaction. I'm going to be honest, I kind of forgot that going into tonight that he was appearing, and I was first questioning why there were so many NWO t-shirts in the crowd, and I was like, oh right, Eric's here tonight. But crowd was into it. Gotta say, the guy's aging pretty well. He looks pretty damn good for 69. So yeah, that's right, Eric Bischoff is 69. Makes y'all feel a little old, doesn't it? Although maybe he's aged very well because his hair went white when he was 21 years old or something like that. Maybe. It's kind of like how I've always thought Patrick Stewart looks way younger than he is because the man's been bald since 1988. So. But anyway, but Eric Bischoff here to stir up some controversy as he always does, and to mediate the face-to-face between Rich Holland and Trick Williams. Before he brings out either man, Bischoff does kind of the thing that everybody does when they come into NXT. They praise NXT, talk about what a great experience it is, how wonderful it is, and of course Eric put himself over as well, because it wouldn't be Eric Bischoff. Yeah, and Pac was on tonight. Pac was hype on there tonight too. But yeah, Bischoff had to put himself over. It's not an Eric Bischoff promo if he doesn't talk about him doing so well in the ratings war and beating Vince McMahon and all. They didn't obviously Vince's name or anything like that, but talked about founding Nitro and forcing people to change their way of programming and all that. So Eric puts himself over and then brings out Rich Holland. And he puts Rich Holland over as well. Talks about how Rich reminds him of some of the wrestlers of yesteryear, like, the Crusher and the Bruiser and things like that. And after he kind of, gave him a little praise, he brings out Trick Williams. And Trick and Ridge, they have a bit of a jaw session. And then a bit of a brawl session, the old John brawl, as it would be. And the brawl ends when Rich Holland hits a nasty DDT on the, I don't know, I'm pointing like the fucking announce tables behind me, but he hits a nasty DDT on Trick Williams, and Trick is taken out on a stretcher and taken to a local medical facility because they don't like to say hospital or name a hospital, harkening back to the days when they would actually say a hospital, and there were only so many hospitals in the area, and you'd have fans either showing up or calling the hospital, so they just say a local medical facility. It could be an urgent care, who knows, right? So Trick gets carted off to get some medical attention, and we'll find out a little bit more about his condition later tonight. After the commercial, we had Sarah Schreiber backstage saying that Trick was loaded in the ambulance and taken away, and that Ava went with him, and that, hey, we'd have more information when we had it. Back in the Performance Center Arena there, we had Nikita Lyons taking on Carmen Petrovic. I guess the battle over who's going to get more text messages from Ashante the Adonis. So during the course of the match, Shante actually makes his way out to the ring and ends up leading to a distraction finish that got Carmen Petrovic the win, but she seemed kind of irritated about this. She accused Adonis of pushing her, and it's a whole thing. And really, this isn't the best will they won't they that's ever been put to television. This isn't Sam and Diane on Cheers. This isn't Leonard and Penny on Big Bang. This has been drawn out for far too many weeks. Yes, Mac, I understand. And I understand Ashante, pursuing her as well, but come on, he's such an ass. Lordy almighty. She'll see through it eventually. She'll see. I just keep telling myself this. Someday. But moving on from there, back to the backstage area, we had Shawn Spears and Nico Vance and Brooke Jensen's talking. And Shawn was saying that he's cultivated and been readying Nico Vance for quite some time, and he's nearly there. He's nearly complete. He's nearly ready to be unleashed on the NXT roster. And as he was saying, there's only one more piece. The camera panned over to see Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley walking by, and Shawn Spears walked over and he complimented Miss Gigi Dolan. And as they were walking away, Tatum Paxley said that Shawn Spears was creepy, and that's coming from her. So maybe a little foreshadowing there. Maybe Spears is looking to expand his, again, I'm not calling it a learning tree, his information bush a little bit larger there to get more people under his tutelage. Before our next match, we did really quickly backstage in their training area. Charlie Dempsey was congratulating the other members of the No Quarter Catch crew on their wins tonight with Ren Sinclair and, of course, Tavion Heights and Miles Bourne. Again, really looking forward to their future here on NXT. It'd be awesome to see Bourne and Heights get those tag titles. And hell, I wouldn't hate to see Ren Sinclair win the Iron Survivor Challenge. It would be really out of left field. It's probably the lowest on anybody's pick list, but it'd be really cool to see everyone in the NQCC walking around with a little something. But I digress. But our next match on the card, we had Gigi Dolan making her return match against Izzy Dame. And I always forget how damn tall Izzy Dame is. Gigi Dolan out there with Tatum Paxley, her new best buddy, and Gigi picks up the win here in just about 4.5 minutes. Pretty solid work here. I think Izzy Dame's coming along pretty well. Hasn't got a whole hell of a lot of reps yet on NXT proper. I think she gets a little more light over on Level Up. But good to see her here on NXT proper, even if it is in taking a loss to Gigi Dolan. I mean, obviously Gigi Dolan needed this win here, making her way back. But during the course of the match, Shawn Spears did appear at the top of the entrance ramp watching the match. So again, clearly he's studying either Tatum or Gigi. I'm not sure which, maybe both, who knows? But he's watching one or both of them for some reason, and I have to suspect that it's, at least mildly nefarious, right? It's kind of his shtick these days. After that match, we hop back to the backstage area where Sarah Schreiber was interviewing Javon Evans, the young OG, the bouncy one himself, who was wearing a Dennis Rodman t-shirt, which was pretty cool. During his interview, he was approached by XPac, and that smile on Javon Evans' face says it all. I love that they keep putting him in these positions where he gets to be like basically all of us as a kid, getting to see, these legends walk around you. And he's younger than pretty much everybody here at DSR. He's certainly a hell of a lot younger than me. I'm 39, guys. But X-Pac told him that he's the same age that he was when he got that big victory over Razor Ramon, and that nothing that happened after that would have happened for him if that win hadn't happened. No NWO, no DX, none of it. So, but he told him that he's a big fan of Javon Evans, wished him the best of luck in the match, and he kind of went to shake his hand, and that very quickly was shifted to a too sweet. And again, I love the smile of Javon Evans in bits like these, because he's all of us, guys. He gets to right now kind of play that wrestler role where he's not just a young, budding, incredible talent, but he's also kind of that everyman. He's that that little kid fan in all of us that wants to grow up. I think everybody that watches wrestling at some point had that dream, at least for a minute, to get stepped between those ropes and do what they do. And wonderful segment. Absolutely love that. And hey, I always love getting to see Pac there too. Yeah, I agree, Mac. Javon has a bright future, and I think they're doing a good job with him. They're not going too much too soon. They're putting him in important matches, over and over. And I think that says a lot about who they've been pairing him with and who they've kind of associated him with on air. Future so bright for him, so bright. But guys, that kind of takes me right back up to the main event that we started with here tonight. These shows flow sometimes. A lot did happen tonight, but it was an exciting, action-packed event. So we do have Deadline coming up this Saturday night, and of course we will be live covering that. But we've got the NXT Championship match between Ridge Holland and Trick Williams. So we did find out tonight via an iPad conversation with Stone and Ava and Stevie. Goodness gracious, her name. That Trick is pretty much demanding that he still have the match, but they really still kind of left that up in the air. But I'm sure he'll make the hero's return, and I don't actually know that he's going to retain that championship. I could absolutely see them going with Ridge Holland in this scenario. They've had Ridge go on a pretty big path of destruction over the last month and a half, 2 months. And it would almost make sense to have him just complete, that destructive run and capture that championship. And I also think that it would get a pretty nasty reaction. Not in a bad way. I think that the heel reaction that Ridge is getting is genuine at this point. I don't think it's go away heat. I don't think it's, we don't want to see you anymore heat. I think it's a pretty genuine heel reaction. So I could absolutely see them going that way. That's not my official prediction on that. I'm just saying I could see it happening that way. I will say, though, I do see the No Quarter Catch crew getting those tag team championships. In the women's Iron Challenge or Iron Survivor Challenge side, that's a tough one. There's just so much talent in that match that you can really see it going any way, which is why I think it might actually be Ren Sinclair. The last option probably anybody would take, with so many heavy hitters and big brawlers and world traveled competitors in that match. I could see her just slipping through there and getting that win. On the men's side of the Iron Survivor Challenge, that one seems to perplex me even more. I'd love it to be Javon Evans. That's my heart pick right there would be Javon Evans. And I think the only one left would be the underground match with Lola Vice and Jada Parker. And I could see it being Lola to get her win back, but I would kind of prefer it to be Jada. I think they need to keep this heavy push of Jada going because, as I said a few weeks ago, Jada is the real deal, y'all. Like, I cannot stress that enough. She is going to be a main event player in WWE for at least 10, 15 years. Easy. Like, she's young. She's got so much skill and so much talent already, and she's only going to get better. So that would be my pick there. But guys, I'm going to go ahead and hop into tonight's NXT Jobbers and Megastars of the Night. And of course, that will start me with the NXT Jobber of the Night. And I really didn't have a great option here, and I feel that I've been picking on Carmen Petrovic a little too much for her association with Shante the Adonis. So tonight, my Jobber of the Night is actually going to be Shawn Spears. Not because I don't like what they're doing with him right now, not because I'm not enjoying the character, but because he called Brooks Jensen Brooksy. It hit my ear weird. I didn't care for it. Don't call him Brooksy. It sounds stupid. That's it. That's the only reason. It's maybe the most shallow or artificial reason I've ever given for a Jobber of the Night, but Brooksy is the reason I'm calling Sean Spears the Jobber of the Night. Stop it. It's awful. But into the brighter side of it, my NXT megastar of the night for December the 3rd, 2024. My megastar tonight, as a collective, the No Quarter Catch crew, Ren Sinclair, Charlie Dempsey, Tavion Heights, Miles Bourne, the entire group, they are firing on all cylinders right now. And obviously, Ren Sinclair and Tavion Heights and Miles Bourne getting very, very big victories tonight, heading into Deadline this Saturday. It's always gonna be hard to break that habit, y'all. Wait, or is it Sunday? Wait, hold on. That actually, NXT usually does run on Sundays. Is that? Yeah. This is the joy of live radio, guys. When I look something up when I'm talking. No, it is Saturday. So it is Saturday again. All right, so they're back to doing them on Saturdays. All right. So Saturday night, heading into Saturday night for Deadline. And I think that momentum should carry both the team of Tavion Heights and Miles Bourne and Ren Sinclair to victory. At least that's my hopes. But fantastic episode of NXT tonight. Obviously, I said being a little biased because I love NXT so much, and I think pretty much every week's a fantastic week of NXT. But great go-home show for Deadline this Saturday night. And guys, if you had a good time hanging out with us tonight and talking NXT, I've got some really good news for you. You see, we're not just here to talk NXT on Tuesday nights. No. We are also here every Monday night, breaking down Monday Night Raw. Obviously, we are here for Tuesdays in NXT. Wednesday nights, you know what that means. It's AEW Dynamite. Thursdays are TNA Impact. And of course, Friday nights are SmackDown. And hey, if you're up very, very late on Wednesday nights after the Dynamite recap, check out the DSR flagship program, super late. And if you're like me, just listen to it early in the morning when you get up. It'll be there with your coffee, your commute. Maybe when you're driving the kids to school. Maybe not. Might not always be that appropriate. But check them out every Wednesday night. And on Sundays, DJ and I are working to get our ish together on this, guys. I promise eventually we will be back together talking wrestling, doing a weekend wrestling roundup together. It is coming. But every Sunday, actually, the 3NT guys hit it live with the Christmas graphic and all of the IWC. Be sure to check them out every single Sunday. And guys, we will also be here Saturday night after Deadline live to break that down and discuss it. And hey, I'm Tyler, the Pro Wrestling Hipster. You can give me a follow at PW Hipster on Instagram and Twitter. I don't do much there. If you really want to see what I'm up to, the Pro Wrestling Hipster over on Facebook. Give me a follow there after you've given Dershi Radio a follow on all of their social media platforms. Guys, thank you all so much for tuning in live with us. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a wonderful night, everybody.